Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com, and I want to show you, I've got a problem here with this hardwood flooring. We've got some damage to it. It's actually cracked, this one piece here. And so right here you can see that's splintered out right there. So it's it's too far gone and we can't just repair it. So I need to actually cut that complete board out of there. It's a little hard to tell now because I've got the tape on the surrounding area to protect it, but this is actually one piece from there to there and here to here. So what we're going to do is show you how to remove that piece and fit a new one in there, and hopefully you'll never be able to tell we did anything. So to start off with, what I want to do is use some tape to protect the surrounding floor so I don't scratch it or damage it. Because what we're going to do is I'm going to drill a couple of 3/4 inch holes really close to the ends of the new board, or the old board. And then I'm going to take a circular saw and make about 3 cuts from end to end of the board. So, you know, I've got to run the saw over the flooring and stuff like that. So we're just trying to protect the surrounding floor so we don't have a bigger area to fix than what we already do. So one thing to be cautious of when doing this is not to cut too close to the edges of your board, because there will be some kind of nails or staples underneath there. So you don't want to cut through them, hopefully, and end up getting a piece in your eye or something. We definitely want to be wearing some safety glasses. And that's the basic thing. So I'm going to drill my holes, make my cuts with the saw, then I'll use a chisel to whittle away at it till I can get the piece actually broke into 2 or 3 pieces and get it out of there. So, so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start. So one thing we want to be cautious of is not drilling too far. So we want to get through this board and just slightly into the subfloor below, but you know, we don't want to punch the hole right through. You can kind of tell the difference. You'll start to see a little bit different material coming up, then you know that you've likely gotten through to the subfloor. Okay. I should have brought the vacuum over just to get rid of this wood chips. Try to keep the area clean so that there's less chance of scratching or marking anything up. So move that out of the way. Now I'm going to make the cuts with the circular saw. So I've set the depth of the blade just, you know, about 1/8 of an inch thick or deeper than what the thickness of the floor is. And I'm going to make my cuts. Obviously I don't want to cut past the ends of my board I'm trying to take out, or I'll end up damaging the next pieces. So you just have to be real careful. Okay, so we've created a lot of dust. I'm going to actually vacuum that up. Okay, so we've got our basic cuts made. We'll see if that'll be enough. So now what I'm trying to do, because these boards are tongue and groove on all 4 edges, everything's kind of locked together with the surrounding pieces. So what I'm trying to do is actually get the center of this board out of here so that I can then pry the edges in and get them out of the tongue and groove. So I'm just going to take a chisel here and just kind of hack this apart, hoping to get everything to come free. Actually, I could probably drill one more hole maybe in the middle here, which would help. Yeah, those couple more holes will help get things loosened up here right from the start. So I'm just going to use the chisel, like I said, and just try to get these pieces out to begin with. Okay, so I've got the center pieces out. So now what I have to try to do is get the very ends out of the groove that's there. And once I have that out, then I should be able to pry these two strips on the sides inwards. So this is where you got to be real careful, because you don't want to pry up against the existing planks that you're trying to leave there. So it takes a little bit of farting around to get it. Okay, so I actually got those ends out pretty easily. Drilling that third hole really helped. So I'm going to just try a red bar. And just every time it takes a little bit of experimenting to see what's going to work the best. But getting this to move already. This will be the side. Now you wouldn't maybe know this if you hadn't put the floor down, but for me, I know that this is the side that isn't nailed, so it'll be easier to get out to start with. Might need to get this end off. Okay, so there's one side of the board off. Now if we can get this other side to do the same thing, we'll be in good shape. So little by little, you just want to keep moving your way along here. So I'll just continue along. You've seen me get one staple out already. I'm just coming up to another one right here, which you probably can't see. So I'm just going to work my way along until I get this out. Okay, so you can see I've got the main part of the board out. I've got a staple here left and a half a staple there and a whole bunch of splinters. But you can see, you know, we haven't damaged that floor. You got to be real careful about prying against it. So I'm just going to get this all cleaned up, and then we'll cut our new piece of flooring. I'll show you that when it's all done and how to install it. Okay, so we've cleaned this all up. We vacuumed it all out. We made sure that we didn't have any wood chips down underneath here. And we also cut out the paper that was underneath there. There'll usually be some kind of underlayment paper type product under there. So we cut that out so that our glue can glue right to the old subfloor. I've manufactured a piece of flooring to go in there. Now the flooring normally, oh yeah, here's a piece here. This is what it normally would look like. So you have your groove on two edges and your tongue on two edges. Now we need to cut some of that off in order to be able to get it in, because we obviously can't get it all fit together like a puzzle like it was before. So in this case, I left the groove on this one edge, but I've actually cut everything else off. I cut the groove off of this end, and I actually cut this edge on a bevel, you can see there. So I cut off the tongue that was there and also beveled the piece so it'll tip in there a little easier. And I slightly beveled this end as well when I cut it to length. Now this particular flooring has a slight bevel or chamfer on each edge, and that's why you kind of see the little bit of grooves here. So because this piece was cut out of a longer piece of stock, I've got a factory end here, but I didn't on this end. So I beveled that end like I said, and I slightly sanded this edge to give it a bevel again. And you can stain it or color it so that it blends in with what you did. I actually just took a felt Jiffy marker and just put a line there so it creates a shadow, and it won't look any different than any of the other joints. So now something else that I did, I added these 2 pieces of tape on here, and really those are just handles to help me get it out if if I need to get it back out of there. Once you go so far, it's not going to come out with these handles, but if I just drop it in there and need to readjust it or something, I can usually pull it out with these pieces of tape, and I just simply cut them off after. So I'm going to do just a bit of a dry fit to make sure it fits in nice. So I need to kind of tip it the right direction, get everything lined up and down in the right spots here. There we go. Okay. So it looks like it's going to go. I don't want to pound it right in because I don't have any glue under there, but I look like my length is good. Width is going to be snug, but it usually is. So I'm going to pull that back out. I can actually take these off because there's no going back at this point. I'm just going to make it fit. So I'm going to use some construction adhesive right onto the subfloor, because we won't be able to nail this one after. We could face nail it if we needed to, but generally the glue itself will hold things together quite well. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit under the edge of this backboard, since it won't be held down quite as good as it was before, just to give it a little bit extra. So that's lots of glue under there. And I'll just get my piece in there. Now usually with most adhesives, that construction adhesive, it's nice to be able to put your piece in and pull it back out just for a second to let that gas off, but we're not going to have that option in this case. It's just got to go in once, and that's going to be it. So I've got things lined up. I'm pretty happy with how things are going to fit. Now I'm just going to take a piece of scrap and tap this down in there. You could use a rubber mallet as well, just to maneuver it back into the spot that it's got to go. I'm trying not to damage any of the flooring around it. So I've kind of got this end started. This end's going to go. We want to be careful that we don't splinter the ends as it drops down in there as well. It's going. Okay. So once that glue sets up, you'll never really be able to tell if that was ever anything done to it. We've got a nice joint, both ends. Looks just like it did before we pulled it out, other than we don't have that big split in the end of it. Okay, so that's the way I know of getting that flooring out. It's not the easiest thing to do. It takes a bit of time, but if you just go slow and are just real careful about not damaging anything else, you shouldn't have too much problems. Obviously dry fit it like we did to be sure it's going to go, and just take your time. So that's all I can really show you about that. Hopefully you liked the video, and if you did, just click the thumbs up or the like button. And if you have any questions about this or any other project that you might be doing, just go to the forum on our website at house-improvements.com and post your question up there. It's just a lot easier for me to answer there if you can go there. So thanks a lot for watching, and please check out our other videos.